blue. Alright. Part two of JFK spotting live at Bayswater on this June 6th, 2013. I'm here with Julian, which is my videographer right now. He's we're out here getting the shots of the 1-3 left departures. Oh, excuse me, right departures. Which mountains in town are positive. We hope. We got a 767 coming this way. It's American. That looks like it's American. Listen to the sound of this piece.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. What do you think of that one?
Oh, the light is beautiful. I'm gonna miss those colors though. I'm still gonna miss those colors. I like the new colors, but I'm still gonna miss that because that's something I've seen since I was a kid. Yeah. You know, and it's something I'm not gonna forget. Really?
What we are looking at is runway 22 on active.
22 left.
22 left, right.
Which was supposed to be at the mountains, but the fucking JFK towers just messed this up, so. But we're okay where we're at, pretty much, so I gotta admit that. Swiss, 330. Oh shit, it's the DC-10 landing. Over the city skyline. It's gotta be FedEx. No, now phone can't do that, so I guess. Yeah, it's FedEx. Landing on 1-3 left. Doing its final, it's on a visual approach, so 1-3 left.
Battery.
That's alright.
20%.
That's alright. Press, as it say, no, it's good to see it.
Yes, it's going.
I brought my charger with me, so I'll be able to charge it somewhere. Wow, look at that bank in. Oh, it's Air France cargo that landed. Hold up. Holy shit. I gotta get that.
Your friend's cargo has
Air
just
France
landed.
cargo. Get out of the way with the freaking bushes, man. Alright, got it. And there's an Air France taking off.
Isn't that crazy?
Passenger version, 300. Good light. That's actually my first new colors. The revised color of the Air France 777-300. Mainly I've got the 200 series, and I've got A330, A380. I'm still missing the 747, which we'll never see that here again. Let me get another shot of that Air France cargo while the light is up.
It's a beauty.
Yeah. It's actually my first shot of an Air France cargo, but it's not the super shot. See, if we were at the mountains, we would have got a super right now. You kidding me? But everything, most of the stuff is shifting to 1.3s, which is a pain in the ass today. It's like today's not all day for that. I mean, it could have been better in many ways, you know. I mean, we're improving. Aviation spotting, photography.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Well,
I recommend you plane spot. I recommend you. I recommend that you people out there appreciate the hobby of aviation photography, because it's such a wonderful hobby that not many people appreciate, and yet people should. By the way, there's a plane going over here right now.
CRJ.
Yeah.
That was a connection. It's not big. I just put more bug spray on me again, my arms more.
Yeah.
Not usual to have so many bugs around this though, but it's not like the mounds. See, the mounds, like, usually when it's like very heated, like very hot, if it's hot enough, you'll see it more around there.
And humidity.
Yeah, right. The humidity is the problem. But it's not humid today really so much, so.
Yeah, it's a little just.
I mean, 72 degrees today. This is 737. Aeromexico.
Catch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Don't even have it.
We'll be soon seeing the 787 Aeromexico.
Oh, that'll be so exciting.
Yeah, that's the one we're looking for.
That's gonna be very exciting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's gonna go over here, so I think he's gonna yeah, it's going right over there. Block. Oh, he's spreading fuel out. What the fuck? He's spreading fuel out on the left wing. Yeah, I got it. I got it. He was spreading fuel out on the wing. It's not gonna be a good shot though, but hold on. Maybe the previous shot might show. 1840. Oh, look, he's in the bank. He's in the bank. Get it. He's in the bank. Gorgeous. That one was nice. Heard the sound of those Rolls-Royce Trents just now?
Oh, they sounded awesome.
Wow, that was good. Beautiful sound. I like the Rolls-Royce Trent sounds. I'm not gonna lie. And there's not a whole lot of A340 600s or 500s out there today that we can like catch here, like JFK. I mean, the only airlines we see that still uses the A340 600 is Virgin Atlantic, like the one we just saw, and China Eastern. And Etihad just recently switched from A340 600 to now 777-300, which that's now another one I gotta catch. And unfortunately, I won't be able to get the F1, which I was hoping to get.
Would you like to?
And what's that? You done?
Hold it, just hold it.
Yep. Seven six. Well, he's heavy. Shit. He's gonna go right over us, it looks like.
17 heavy, starting right heading 185, contact with departure. 185 departure zone 17 heavy.
Viewing the contrails of a 4 quadruple airliner. I don't know who it is. It's exactly it. Yeah, I can actually see how filthy this water is too. Look at that. All that algae. The A320 taking off.
35, turn right heading 170, contact with departure. And the turn switching jump to 35. Tackle 6076, wind 140 and 10, runway 12 right, just take off. Just take off, 13 right, please.
Oh shit, take this. It's I Love New York. I think that's I Love New York. It's I Love New York. Special. That was what we saw, a special scheme by JetBlue. It's I Love New York. And that's pretty much a common sight here at JFK. So it's always worth a catch because it's a special. So I'm that kind of person, I'll catch anything special.
They did that campaign, I Love New York, because they were debating whether they should keep their headquarters here in New York City or whether they were going to do it in Orlando.
Well,
and they chose New York over Orlando.
Well, not for nothing, but between the fact that JetBlue has been officially birthed here in New York City.
New York's hometown airline is what they are.
It is a New York's hometown airline. So they pretty much just like, see, unfortunately, if you look at like the sports designs, like the Boston Red Sox, they got the what's the other one? The New York Jets. The New York Jets fits it well because they are the sponsor of the New York Jets, and like, see, the one we can use is, see, the only thing is, like, let's say the New York, my favorite home team, the New York Yankees. Mm-hmm. They're not sponsored by JetBlue, but they're done by Delta. And what I like to see is Delta come out with a special scheme of the New York Yankees, which I think that would be sweet. To me, that would be sweet, you know. So who knows what could happen in the future, you know.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a matter of point if they do that, and it's a good. There's always a good chance, though. It's always good to stay positive on certain occasions, but it's well helpful the fact that when it comes to having an aviation enthusiast, or if you are an aviation enthusiast, you'll know by the experience of what we do. For one, as opposed to catching the rare stuff, the special stuff, like. The one rare aircraft many of us would love to catch today, many of our youngsters, will be the Boeing 707. But they're very rare. I've caught a 707 back in May 2nd, 2010. That was flown by the Iranian president using the Islamic, what do you call it? It's one of the governmental Air Force Boeing 707s, which the plane was delivered in 1974. And 707s are extremely rare to catch today. And now, not many of them are in the air. They're like at least less than maybe 60 or 50 still left flying worldwide. However, there's still some you've been used on cargo. Oh shit, Laport Starlines. Which I wish it was a 787. Matter of fact, Julian.
Yeah.
What do you think about yesterday's event that we went to? About trying to catch the last 787 yesterday.
That was terrible.
Very terrible. I go to JFK. I left my ScanDisk card at home in the Bronx, which I didn't expect that was going to happen. We meet up late. We met up in the subway station, and we got out a little late, unfortunately, but the fact that we still made it out. We hanged out at the terminals all day yesterday. It was nice, though. We had dinner at Sparrow at about 5 o'clock last night, and over there, and it was worth it. We got to see it take off. We got to see it leave the gate, and we got to see it take off. We didn't see it touch down. That's the one thing we missed. We did go to Terminal 5 to see if we can catch it, but unfortunately we missed it. So, and then they switched runways again from runway 31 right and left to 22 left and right. Which 22 left and right was the main runway I really hope for today. But there will be another day we'll come out for it to do this again. I mean, it's a nice day to shoot. It's nice out here at JFK. And like this is the stuff we get to do for fun. I mean, just for fun and to hopefully get somewhere heavy with this. All right. We got a Delta 320. You know, it's weird. The craziest thing about that is that we commonly see the A320s at LaGuardia. And the fact that LaGuardia currently is operating with two terminals now, which is new. Since, how long's it been now, Julian? The LaGuardia started taking over some parts of US Airways terminal?
In a couple of years already.
2 years about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had an agreement of buying out, switching over terminals at LaGuardia about that time, and the fact that now Delta also operates out of Terminal C, which is primarily was used on US Airways, and the main terminal is Terminal D, which is actually the actual Delta terminal. Now, the only one, I mean, luckily WestJet and US Airways still have that terminal, but they possibly might move because of the merger between US Airways and American. There's a good chance that US Airways will be leaving Terminal C and head to Terminal B, which is the main terminals. And WestJet probably might end up being at the same terminal. I mean, it's a matter of what knows what, because Delta will be taking over most of Terminal C as well. And they are increasing flights out of LaGuardia as well. Just like they're doing at JFK, at the new terminal they just opened. They closed down Terminal 3 recently, like not even a week ago. They're about to dismantle the old so-called Pan American Worldport, which originally was the Pan Am terminal, the home of Pan Am, from decades. And now they're getting ready to demolish it, and they're getting ready for Phase 2 as well as Terminal 2, which also is owned by Delta. That they're going to be demolishing that as well in the future. But they're going to be taking out flights out of there. They're going to be closing that down. Terminal 3 is already officially closed. And now Terminal 4 is stretching out at JFK for Delta, because now it's all Delta terminals. But there's still other airlines, other feeders still using the terminal, which nobody knows in the future what's going to happen with those. However, like some of the airlines that are part of the One World Alliances moved to Terminal 8 with American Airlines. And now there's a good chance Delta might do the same thing, keep the SkyTeam carriers, because they are a SkyTeam member. So they'll be keeping those possibly at Terminal 4. So it's a matter of what will happen, because we don't know for sure yet. And this is 757 taking off, coming right over us. And that's United 757. One of the California flights is going.
Yes, it is.
I'm not sure what exactly where. I don't know if it's San Francisco or Los Angeles, but it's going one of those two airports. That's the because the United uses Terminal 7 at JFK for its premium service, which they do coast-to-coast routes. So it's between JFK to Los Angeles and San Francisco. That's the only place they have it. I mean, not to mention back in the past, between the 70s, 1970s, no 60s, 70s, and 80s, including the 90s, United actually used to have a mini hub here at JFK. I don't know if you're aware about that, Julian.
No.
They actually used to have a number of huge flights here. They have flights to Tokyo in the past, London Heathrow, Belgium, Switzerland, even Hong Kong. They even have flights to Hong Kong. They used to use 747 here and 777 briefly. And they even have flights to, I believe, Shanghai in the past too. That was done by United.
And now they only do California, Los Angeles, and San Francisco premium service.
Because they sold the routes to Delta in the early 2000s. They sold the routes, and now Delta's taken over most of every United flight except the premium service right now. They also has United Express flights that go out to Dulles.
Which operate CRJs.
Yes, they use CRJs mainly at JFK. Yeah, and LaGuardia you'll see a mix, a little bit of a mix, like the Embraer 170s, even the CRJs you'll see there more. And including the Embraer 145s you'll see there, which they mostly use those for Cleveland. But, because LaGuardia still got flights that's done by United that goes to Chicago, Houston, Texas, Cleveland, and Dallas International, and including Denver, which is the Godfather destination of LaGuardia. Which the routes from LaGuardia to Denver and round was announced in 1993 or 94, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, matter of fact, Continental used to fly to Stapleton. At the time, it was called Stapleton, and there was actually an accident related to a Continental flight at LaGuardia in 1994. An MD-80 overran the runway. It slipped onto some ice on the runway. I believe it was runway 13. And the nose ended up in Jamaica Bay. No, Flushing Bay. And there was a few injuries. That was the flight that was going to Stapleton International at the time. And do you believe there's been accidents at JFK in the past, Julian?
Yes, there have been. Yes, there have been.
You remember which ones they were? Oh, the most recent accident that was out of JFK was American Flight 587, which took off on runway 31 left and banked out towards trying to do the Canarsie climb. Unfortunately, what happened is the fact that the plane blanked out. The Japan 747 took off before that, and obviously the American flight, it was an Airbus A300, and experienced a lot of turbulence, and as it was going out, and the plane disintegrated. The rudder came off first, the tail, and then the engine fell apart and it spiraled down. But the main reason of the crash was related to that, and mainly it was a pilot error, which was done by the co-pilot that was flying the aircraft. And there was one crash. As a matter of fact, there was a few crashes alone at JFK. There was one in 1992, a TWA L-1011, which overran the runway, which that was written off. Nobody was injured. One of the most famous crashes that happened was in 1975, which was Eastern Airlines Flight 66, which he was landing on 22 left. Got caught by a downdraft called microburst, during a heavy thunderstorm, and the plane attempted to land, and it downdrafted the plane and slammed into the tower lights of runway 22 left, and there's looks like it's American 738. And of course, we all know the story about an Avianca, Boeing 707, that was Flight 52, attempting to land at JFK, which that plane didn't crash at JFK, but it crashed out in Cove Neck, Long Island. The plane ran out of fuel as it made the plane sit in the air for hours. And unfortunately, that plane didn't come across making it to the runway. You guys are viewing American 767-300. So, the flight landed, and unfortunately, yeah, it ran out of fuel, and he landed at Cove Neck, Long Island, which was in the backyard of a house, which at least 70, I believe it was 70-something people that died. There were a lot of survivors, however, so the pilots didn't definitely survive. And there was another famous crash that happened, also, I think it was in 1976, with a Overseas National Airlines DC-10, which the plane burst into flames on the runway 31 left. And from what I can remember, I'm not sure, it was actually an employee flight, and the plane actually was written off. It was all burnt up to crisp. And there was also, if I'm not mistaken, there was another DC-10 incident related to, I believe it was runway 4 right, when a Scandinavian SAS overran the runway and ditched into the Jamaica Bay. And that was in 1984 that incident happened. And I wasn't remember for sure if anybody was injured or so, but there has been some casualties as far as I can remember. I don't remember how much exactly, but I can go back history as always and check that out.
Yeah.
But, and we all know about the famous TWA Flight 800 that took off on. It took off on 13 right that evening, where the location we're at right now, and it exploded over the Atlantic near Long Island at about 15,000 feet in the air, and the plane fell apart. The nose came off first, and then it started disintegrating and headed into the ocean, which killed 230 people. Which it took the investigators at least 6 years or so to finally find the cause, but many rumors spread out that it was a terrorist bomb, which in fact it wasn't. It was actually a short circuit between a broken wire and which it caught up to the fuel tank of the 747 that crashed. And it was a very shameful crash, and it's something I'll never forget today, because I just came back from Switzerland when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Air China is taking off now, 777.
Air China 92 having.
Not to mention, this Air China came in very late today. He usually comes in about 2:45 in the afternoon. He came in at 4:30 this evening. So I never was aware of what happened, but yeah, this is why he's departing now. Because you normally would depart at around 4:45, but he came in a couple hours late today. So according to FlightAware, that's what I got. So. We got like another less than an hour to spot before we lose light. You say you want to go to White Castle, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's only about 15-minute walk from me, so it's not bad. And then we'll jump on the A train tonight.
As far as the A train from here?
It's right there. It's right where that White Castle is, right there on Broad Channel. It's right up the block, right there. It's the last stop.
Oh, okay.
Far Rockaway. So we'll get it at. So we'll take that right. Split up from in Manhattan. I'll take the train back to the Bronx. I gotta jump on the 5 train because I can get off at Fulton and pick up the 5 from there, which is gonna be easier. Look at that bank he's doing. Holy shit!
Yeah, catch that one.
That shit. Nice bank by Delta 737. 800. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was a beautiful bank right there. That was really something. Go. See, Bayswater's not bad, huh?
Yeah. Low battery. It's almost at 5.
Really? Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Can't be recorded until it dies out. I don't care. Because I can charge it. I guess they might have outlets at Right Castle, so I'll charge it there if anything.
You have a charger with you?
Yeah, I have it. It's in my bag.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm all prepared, so, I mean, that's why I said, I left the Bronx. I left the Bronx at about 12 o'clock this afternoon. That's why I told you I'd wait for you 2 hours there at 7th Avenue. Because I went to Fordham. Took the D train. And and just got off at 7th, and then I was like, what the fuck? Where the fuck is Julian? You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting for you for 2 hours. So I got there about a little after 1. Actually, it was a little before that. I got there around like 1, a little before 1. So it was like, I'm like saying, what the hell is this dude at?
Is that like a sugary drink that you're drinking there?
It's one of my energy drinks is Nutriment. It says chocolate though. But I even got a few people into this still drinking this, but you know, CRJ. Man, this is that engine sound. Buzzing.
Yeah, right. It sounds nice.
Very buzzing. Looks like it's a heavy.
Paris, 6 Hotel, complete on stage. Can we proceed eastbound from here at 600 feet, 500 feet? Alright, so then you're going to check up?
What was that?
Join back up with the tracks if you want. Alright, and the tracks, are we going to head back westbound? We're going to head back eastbound. Okay, November 6 Hotel,